Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I am Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively, we are the three best office blokes to live in this office in the past 5 minutes.
I've never lived in this office.
In the past 5 minutes.
I spent a lot of time here.
You've not lived anywhere else in the past 5 minutes?
I went for a piss before.
You lived in the toilet then?
He's been in a room called living in a room.
A living room. Not every house has a living room.
But it's not in a house.
Could be called a lounge.
Stay tuned for more exciting debates on the Office Blokes. Right, the top 10 best cities to live in America for 2022. Stay to the end for extras. Ooh.
What kind of extras you get at the end?
Happy ending.
Not sure. Hope there's someone here that I'm sort of like really seen before, or like new ones.
Well,
You've got to have New York in there.
obviously, like New York is always going to be on a list like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think
I'm not sure.
It depends what you want from a city, I suppose, doesn't
exactly,
it?
yeah. It's each different opinions sort of thing.
Of course it is,
I
yeah.
suppose like traditionally maybe somewhere like Los Angeles, but in recent years they've got a really bad.
Is that
like,
the best cities to live? They don't for economy.
That's what I'm saying. It's
2022.
2022. I know the economy in California is huge, isn't it? But there's other markers that may score somewhere like LA down in recent years.
Yeah. I mean, is it like a matter of opinion, or is it ones where they take certain things into consideration, like education, transport?
The last one we
stuff like
did
that?
was it was a list that was compiled, and he was just talking about the list, so it wasn't
that's
him.
right.
So
Let's do it.
yeah, let's do it.
Anyway.
Top 10 best cities to live in America for 2022. Let's do it.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to World According to Briggs, and a video that answers a question I get asked frequently. What city should I move to? Just like the last video that we did on states, I get this question all the time, back and forth. Today's video is my opinion based on things that I've learned over the last year or so doing these videos. So if you're looking for some hardcore stat video, this ain't it today. I will be referencing different stats to support why I feel that this is a good option for anyone that wants to move there. And I'll also tell you who I think should move there. Now keep in mind, every state, every city, every town has bad things like crime, poverty, bad weather, and drugs. That's life. Normally, if a place has a bunch of that stuff, it's affordable. If it doesn't, it's gonna be expensive. That's just how the world works. We're doing a shorter than normal intro today, so why don't we just take a look? Number 10, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Michigan starts off our list today just like it did when the state won. Michigan was the...
Where Brett lives, isn't it?
Is it?
Yep.
Oh,
We're near there.
I know he's in Michigan. I
Yeah,
didn't know
if
it was
he's,
Grand
not, if
Rapids.
he's Grand Rapids, he's very close to it if he's not in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brett.
Number 10 spot, and here's Grand Rapids at number 10. Grand Rapids is a city that's seen some rough times, but things are getting better there, and right now it's a really good place to live if you don't mind the cold. It's far enough away from Detroit so it doesn't get much of that Detroit stank on them, and they're not too far from Lake Michigan, which is always fun, especially in the summer. Sure, there's winter things you can do there, but summers in Michigan are really
It's nice
good
and
as long as you
green,
get
isn't it?
past the mosquitoes. Winters are harsh, like we discussed yesterday. So why do I think Grand Rapids is a good place to live? Their entire metro area has just a little over 1 million residents, so it's not terribly crowded. Home prices are reasonable too. The national average is $270,000 is the median home price. The median home price in Grand Rapids is $296,000. Monthly rent right around $880. I poked around at houses and you can get something really nice for $350,000. You can get them as low as $150,000, but you're going to have to do some work. Maybe a little too much work in some cases. But this is who Grand Rapids is for. Younger people.
Nice.
Median
It does look
age
nice,
in
doesn't it?
Grand Rapids is 35 years old. They have a great craft brew scene, a lot of outdoor activities, and a growing tech community. Grand Rapids has a livability score of 6.8 out of 10. Number 9, Spartanburg, South Carolina. I honestly don't think we've ever talked about Spartanburg here
heard of
on
it.
this
Never heard
channel
of it,
at
no.
all. I'm a little surprised. I mean, a lot of people think Spartanburg's the best place to live in South Carolina, including U.S. News. They rank it number 1. Spartanburg has a good mix of older residents and younger residents, but in the last few years, it seems like a lot of younger people are moving here. That's because of jobs. They have places to work and employment just waiting for people in Spartanburg. It's actually home to the first North American BMW plant. Now, this one's really important to a lot of people. Myself, I don't think so, but a lot of people, it's one of the first things they search for. Spartanburg is in the top 10 almost every single year for pet-friendly cities. And last year, it was ranked as the 18th cheapest city to live in the United States. That was for cities above 20,000 residents. The actual city of Spartanburg only has about 38,000 residents, with the entire metro area having about 327,000. And their their average commute time for workers is still under 20 minutes. Median rent is usually around $800, they say, but realistically, you're looking closer to $900 a month. Median home price is $156,000. Realistically, you're looking at about $220 to $260 to get something decent. And it goes all the way up, way up. So who's moving to Spartanburg? Everyone. A lot of people that moved down to Florida from New York and decided they didn't like Florida, they'll move to places like Spartanburg. They have young people moving in there, like I was saying. Yeah, it's just good for everyone, especially if you want to get a starter house, maybe start a family.
That's where Paul lives as well. You know, Paul, who we were in contact with. I don't want to give his last name out or anything like that. But Paul lives, I think he's in Spartanburg, or he's in South Carolina anyway. But
okay.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Spartanburg rings a bell.
It sounded nice.
Yeah,
South
Carolina's
nice.
nice. North and South Carolina is very nice. A lot of golf and a lot of golf courses and all that around there.
Looks pretty green.
Nowhere's perfect.
That looks nice,
Yeah.
Number 8, Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville is not like the rest of Alabama. They, have a reputation for being a little backwards and things like that. That's an old stereotype of Alabama. Sure, they got some really backwood places, but their reputation comes from years back. People that don't know much about Alabama don't realize that Huntsville is like one of the first tech cities that we had here in the United States. They have a close connection with NASA and played a big part in the space race of the 1960s. This was actually a landing spot for a lot of German rocket scientists back after World War II. It's like we boxed them up and sent them to Alabama. At first, I'm sure they thought this was a prison camp, but it just turns out it was Alabama. But Huntsville turned into a pretty good place. It's consistently one of the fastest growing metro areas in the United States. The median home price here, they say, is $192,000, but realistically about $250 to $350 you'll get something decent. Median rent price, $850. That's what the median is, but realistically, you're looking at about $950. Huntsville is ranked first for cheapest place to live in Alabama and the best place to live in Alabama. Safest place to live in Alabama, not so much. They're number 18. So who should move here? I'd say tech people and retirees. It's not a bad place for retirees to move to. I mean, decent weather most of the year. It has a really low cost of living and housing. Their quality of life score is 7 out of 10. Number 7, Boise, Idaho. Now, you gotta say it right. It's Boise, not Boise. A lot of people throw a Z in there and it drives the locals crazy. I am guilty of calling it Boise on more than a few occasions.
I remember that now, Boise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like...
So I want to go here. This is one of the places I want to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is the appeal for you?
Don't know. I've never been there before. I've never been to Idaho.
Oh, right.
It's one of them places where I've heard a lot of good things about Boise.
Yeah.
And it's one of them places where I just think I fancy having a trip out there just to sort of like see what's going on.
Just to test the water sort of thing, see what it's like.
Yeah.
Why not?
So I'll be going. I will go. I'll go before I die.
I quite
It's
like
on the list, unless I die in like in the next few days.
Yeah, which again we will milk for content.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I quite like it when you've got like a metropolitan area surrounded by hills and things.
That's
kind of that dynamic is nice.
It can be nice. I mean, Oldham's like that, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah, not like that.
No, exactly. Yeah.
There's nothing in that picture that thinks. The only thing I can see in that picture that might be similar to Oldham, it's got a D in it.
Yeah, yeah. Right? I mean, it'd all be grey for a start. The sky, the buildings, the people.
All right.
Because I know it drives the locals crazy. It's actually Boise. And I promise there'll still be comments about how I still didn't say it right. If you like the outdoors, Boise is your paradise. Rivers, mountains, canyons, deserts, lakes, everything, both summer and winter. You could do it all here. Just a 20-minute ride, you could be in the mountain. Maybe not that short, but it's close. If you look at downtown Boise, it is booming. They have new construction everywhere. A lot of craft beer, and a lot of restaurants here like to boast that they have locally sourced food too, not sent from across the country. That's a big deal for them. Normally, you'd find that type of bragging in Portland or Seattle or something like that. But no, Boise, they're big into locally sourced food. Boise is ranked as the 7th safest place to live in the United States as far as big cities go. And their average commute time is 14 minutes. That's solid. The city's population is only 235,000 residents, with the entire metro area only having about 750,000. So it's not terribly crowded, and they got a lot of space to expand too.
Am I right in thinking that a lot of like the basketball players moved into that area, or the sports players?
I would hate to say. Do you mean retired?
No,
just to live and
just Was it there, or was it somewhere like that? Let us know in the comments. I remember reading something about people moving out there because it was such a good standard of life, and the value you get for what you were buying and stuff. Like they were buying these mega mansions out there.
It's somewhere that I've heard alluded to loads of times, but I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah,
I don't know why I've heard of this place.
Just come to me then. I just wondered if that was the one I was reading about. Let us know.
This is both a college town and the state capital. The median home price in Boise is about $221,000. The median rent goes for $958 to be exact. But if you poke around Zillow, it'll tell you that the average price is really going to be closer to about $350,000. The nicer ones starting above $400,000. And this is another place they go up, way up. You can get a place right now for $3 million that has 4 bedrooms and 4 acres. And I'm looking at it and, it's got good views. I don't think that's worth $4 million. Maybe 2. I think that one's extremely overpriced. Boise is a good place for anyone to move there. The median age is 36 years old, which isn't terribly high. This is just one of the many places that people have been moving to in Idaho for quite some time now. The quality of life in Boise is 7.3 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, fancy
That's
that.
a decent place, huh?
It looks nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking about sort of median age today, because obviously where I live in Northwich is quite young, as in like young families are absolutely everywhere. And I grew up in Altrincham, where people tend to be older by the time they have kids because they're more career focused. I like a younger town, I think.
Well, I moved from Lim, where I was the youngest guy in the town, to Didsbury, where I'm the oldest guy in the town.
I mean, I love
In
Lim.
the space of that.
I do love Lim, but
Full of old people, man.
But I was just thinking, actually, I went to the dentist today, and obviously that's in the centre of Alty, and everyone's old. Absolutely everyone's old.
Yeah.
And I'm
Wait
like,
till you go Lim.
Number 6, Fayetteville, Arkansas. You heard me right, I said Arkansas, but really Fayetteville and that area up there, Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, that's not like the rest of Arkansas, like I've said many times on this channel. This area has experienced drastic growth in the last 10 years. This is the birthplace of Walmart, the headquarters for Tyson Foods, and the University of Arkansas. It's one of those places in the country that college football is very important to the entire city. You'll see flags, hats, t-shirts all over the place of the Razorbacks. That's, every time I've gone there, it's one of the first things I pick up on. That, and they hate any jokes about marrying a close relative. In 2020, they were voted the 4th best place to live in the United States.
Nice again,
That's not a bad score. It's definitely a good place, and you don't expect it because it's in Arkansas. The median age here is 34 years old. It's one of the youngest places in the country, and that has a lot to do with the college and all the jobs they have there. They're starting to be a kind of a tech center. It's like growing there. The median home price is $203,000 and the median monthly rent is $835. But realistically, to buy something decent, you're looking like $260,000 to $360,000. It goes up, way up, just like every place else. And the rent, realistically, for a 2-bedroom place is going to run you about $1,000 a month. Fayetteville has a quality of life score of 7.4. Number 5, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Here's another city we hardly ever talk about, Green Bay. I mean, most of America never talks about Green Bay unless they're talking.
Is it Green Bay that those football chants were about the other day?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Is that where the Packers are
Cheeseheads.
from? Cheeseheads. Yeah.
About the Packers. And remember how I said if you move to Fayetteville, they're very into the University of Arkansas football? The residents of Green Bay are even more insane when it comes to the Packers. I read years ago that you can't get season tickets. There's like this waiting list, and a lot of families actually leave them to other family members in their will. And I don't know if it's still like
said
that,
that the other day,
but it
didn't
was
you?
very much a thing some years back. Green Bay is great for retirees that don't mind the cold and families just starting out. Great place to raise a family, and it's very affordable.
That's what I love about America, mate. Like a main street like that. You've got
space.
all the sort of like colonial sort of like shops like this. And it just looks
Big and wide open as well.
It just looks mint, doesn't it?
Space.
That's what I miss about it, me.
Yeah.
We're kind of cursed a little bit in this country with, 2,000 years worth of roads being built, and then, things like our architecture is very
Built
much
for the day. It's
narrow roads, and there's just nothing you can do about
still
it.
brick built buildings, isn't it? And it's not easy to sort of like redevelop, I suppose, is it?
This is a lot more. I see America as a lot more purposeful. Someone's sat down and gone, right, it needs to be that wide. We can have that there, and you kind of have blocks rather than.
Yeah, you'll even look there. I mean, this parking sort of thing. You can stroll down the sidewalk, and you've got plenty of room on either side.
Yeah,
shops going. Probably little benches outside and stuff. It just looks nice and clean and tidy.
It does.
Smart.
Yeah.
It does. But that's exactly what I miss about America.
Yeah, it's nice.
The actual city of Green Bay only has about 108,000 residents, with the entire metro area having about 320,000. The median home price here is about $181,000, with rent being just under $800 a month. This is kind of a first.
Don't see many people without shirts on, I guess, in Green Bay.
Your thoughts?
Most part of the year.
He has got a woolly hat on, but
I know.
Just football fans most of the time
Probably,
after a few beers.
Yeah.
I will tell you, here's the median price. It's like $200,000, but realistically, you want a house that's probably around $250,000, $350,000. This one is $181,000, but you could find nice homes here, livable homes, for $160,000 or $170,000. There's plenty of them. Now, I also find this a little funny. In most cities around the nation, if they've got some kind of football stadium or something like that, it's a really bad neighborhood and the houses are very inexpensive. You can get a home across the street from Lambeau Field, where the Packers play, for about $700,000. It's like the homes around here are double and triple the price of a normal home.
Wow.
And they're nothing special about them. They're just normal homes. They're just really close to the stadium, so they're more expensive. The quality of life score in Green Bay is 7.4. Number 4, Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville is one of those places that in the last decade or so has really picked up popularity. A lot of young people are moving here. They got a great beer scene, great music scene, a lot of outdoor stuff to do. I mean, the Blue Ridge Mountains are right there. It's like the backdrop to the city. A lot of the younger people kind of, for lack of a better term, got that hippie thing going on. Sort of like San Francisco had in the 60s, Portland had in the late 80s, early 90s.
And we mate Barry from Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he lives.
Asheville.
Yeah. He used to live in Cary and he moved to Asheville.
Yeah. There's a Marcus King live album that I listen to quite a lot that's on YouTube, and it's in Asheville.
Asheville.
Yeah. It's at like some radio station where they have like live concerts on and stuff. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Denver's had since all the hippies got chased out of San Francisco and had to go someplace else. Asheville actually has the nickname Beer City. They also have Paris of the South, but I think that's a little over the top for this place. Asheville doesn't have a really big population, only 94,000 in the city, with the entire metro area having about 469,000. It's like 120th in the nation. They're not that big, and that helps with a couple different things. One is commute time. The average commute time is under 10 minutes here. Even though they've had a youth movement here, their median age is still pretty high. It's 44.2. Remember, some of the other ones here were 35, so that's a bit older. But Asheville's a great place to live for both young people and older people. The median home price here is $278,000. Median rent is $900. But those are really off. Rent's probably going to be about $1,200 a month on average. We also won't find many decent homes with like 3 bedrooms that are going to be under $325,000. You're probably looking at just a little over 4 to get something really nice. And they go way up. It's a popular city, so you're going to have some $1 million homes here too. Asheville's quality of life score is 7.5.
What do you think the median house price is in the UK? If you had to guess.
280,000. Do you know?
No, I don't.
Oh.
No, I'm just putting it out there.
I think I read it not long ago.
Yeah, I'd probably go for something like that.
Yeah, I think I read it.
Sounds plausible to me.
Just 300, I thought he had.
Yeah.
It depends area to area. That's national.
Yeah.
That's national.
Yeah,
national,
like Greater Manchester, I think it'd be more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems about right to me.
Yeah, in Greater Manchester. Well, in the south of Manchester, where we are, 300 grand won't get you much.
No.
I don't think it'll get you a 1-bed flat.
You can get apartments.
You can do, but it's a lot more expensive.
Yeah, if you want a family home with multiple bedrooms and a garden and a driveway, you've got absolutely no chance of pricing.
Probably about 700 to 800 grand you'd need pounds.
Yeah,
so probably $1 million.
Yeah,
or 700 to 800,000 pounds now. $700 to $800,000.
I was going to say, it's not much different these days, is it?
Cheers, Liz Truss.
Number 3, Colorado Springs, Colorado. If you don't know about Colorado Springs, it is an amazing place to live. A lot of people really love it here, and it is considered one of the best places to raise a family in the United States. If you don't know where it is between Pueblo, Colorado, and Denver, kind of right in the middle there on the 25. Interstate 25, whatever you want to call it. If you're from Southern California or California in general, you just call it by the number. Everywhere else in the country, you use the I-70 or Interstate 70, something like that. It's this strange Southern California thing. Compared to other cities in Colorado, Colorado Springs has really low crime, good schools, Their cost of living and their housing is a little expensive, but you pay for what you get. Colorado Springs has a lot of tech jobs and just a lot of jobs in general, and it's natural beauty. That's why I put it here at this point in the list. Like I said, it's expensive, but it has a lot of other nice things about it. It's another one of those places that really has that small town feel, even though it's a good-sized city. When I say good-sized city, the city itself has about 480,000 residents, with the entire metro area only having about 755,000. Their commute time here is about 16 minutes on average. And that's not my number. That's from some government agency, transportation, whatever, comes up with that number every single year. I find that one a little off. I would honestly say it's closer to 30 minutes in most cases. I don't know. I could be wrong. The median age in Colorado Springs is 34, so this is a pretty young city. The median home price is $455,000. That, like I said, it's a little more expensive here. Rent is about $1,200. Realistically, rent's about $1,600. It's like a 2-bedroom apartment.
Nice,
when it comes to buying a place, you could find all kinds of condos. They have a lot here, and they go for anywhere between $275,000 to $350,000 on up. I mean, if it's a really nice neighborhood. But homes, they're going to start off around $500,000 if you want something really nice. If you look hard enough, you can find things in the $350,000 to $400,000 area. The quality of life score here isn't as high as some of the other ones on this list. It is 7.1, but it's still a great place to live.
Yeah, look nice.
Number 2, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Lancaster is a place that's seen some serious growth in recent.
Isn't that where the Amish people are? Lancaster.
Ooh,
I thought that's Salt Lake City. It's like Utah and stuff, isn't it?
No,
the
Utah's
Amish?
that's the Mormons.
Mormons.
Yeah.
You might be right, actually.
Lancaster. It's around that area anyway, I think.
Years. Back in the day, it was really just a place you stopped if you were driving from Philadelphia to Harrisburg. But Lancaster is a beautiful little town, or city, whatever you want to call it. It is surrounded by farmland. This is a very old city. It was actually founded in 1729 and was incorporated into a borough in 1742 and actually incorporated into a city in 1818. The downtown of this city is beautiful. Old architecture, just like feel the history when you just look around this town. It does have some rough spots just like any city, but for the most part, this is a great little city. I love Lancaster, not just because it's close to 2 of my favorite places in the United States, Bird in the Hand and Intercourse, Pennsylvania. But dotted all around besides Intercourse and Bird in the Hand, there's all kinds of just great small towns to go visit on the weekends. It's a beautiful part of the country. Lancaster has a population of 59,000 residents, with the whole metro area having about 507,000. Commute times are less than 12 minutes, and it's affordable. The median rent price is about $1,000. Median home price is $226,000. Realistically, you're looking at about $1,200 for rent, maybe a little bit less. And to get a decent home, you're gonna be looking at least $320,000 to $425,000. You can find cheaper places, but they won't be in the best neighborhoods, and you're probably gonna have to do some work there. I do see duplexes and stuff for as low as $170,000. They do have some places here that are very expensive, but if you look inside, they look like an antique shop. Those go for about $1 million, but just beautiful old homes. The quality of life score in Lancaster is 7.6. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day.
My number 1 is.
I would say what you're going for, but they've all been kind of curveballs to me.
Because to a certain extent, yeah.
That's kind of what I expected. Like
Yeah.
those line ones.
Few of them I haven't heard of, or most of them, I think, actually.
I think a lot of the major cities we'd probably think of as, non-natives are too expensive, quality of life, crime rates are probably higher, all that on these metrics.
You're
it's
talking
like,
major cities, aren't you? There?
Yeah.
Best places to live, major cities.
I wonder what their criteria is for being a city. I know we've
Said
got
it's over
ours here.
20,000. Over 20,000, didn't he?
Is that what it was? Ah, right, I missed that.
I think he said cities over 20,000, so maybe you can have cities that are smaller, but on
Yeah.
this, it's over 20.
So over here, you have to have a cathedral or something, and
You have to have a cathedral to be a city.
something
Yeah.
else, maybe the railway station, and I don't know. There's certain things, isn't there? But
I was thinking somewhere like Austin, Texas, because of,
yeah.
Tesla are moving loads of stuff there, and apparently there's a big young music scene and comedy and all that sort of stuff, but apparently house prices are through the roof. So maybe that sort of thing knocks places like that off the list.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But I couldn't guess
There's
any
a lot
of them so far.
There's a lot of states, and there's a hell of a lot more cities, isn't there? So it's
Yeah.
there's a lot to,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
lot
it
to
could be
go at.
anywhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
We would love it if you went over there and checked out some videos, maybe subscribe. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Portland, Maine. Yeah, Portland. If you want to live in a city that has next to no crime, I mean, compared to any other city in the United States, their size, they have the absolute lowest crime rates in the nation. I mean, that whole area, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, they're 1, 2, and 3 when it comes to low crime. Well, Portland, for being a city this size, has extremely low crime. And it's beautiful. People
really
are decent.
nice.
You just got to deal with those cold New England winters. They do have jobs, not a terrible amount of poverty, and decent schools. This is a great place for retirees and families. The median home price in Portland is $310,000 with median monthly rent $1,100. But if
There's something quite familiar about that. Is it the red brick buildings, do you think?
Possibly.
Could be.
That could be transplanted from the UK.
You could be transplanted from Manchester. That
Could be
couldn't
Liverpool, that.
Yeah.
Oh, Liverpool, with the water and the docks.
It's nice.
Portland is $310,000 with median monthly rent $1,100. But if you poke around Zillow, you'll find out that if you want to buy a house here that's decent, it's going to be anywhere from $350,000 to about $425,000. Obviously, it goes way up from there. Portland's a beautiful city. It just gets really cold and it gets some rain, but it's tons of greenery around there, things to do. It's a nice city, and the people there love it. Portland, Maine is one of the happiest states in the country. The quality of life score for Portland, Maine is 7.8. Almost cracked the 8.0 mark. All right, before we close this one out, a couple cities that you might think should have made the list but didn't. Austin, Texas, very popular. It's just getting a little too crowded and it's getting a little more expensive. It's starting to be not worth it. Bend, Oregon is another one that's been really popular in recent years, especially with a youth migration to that place, but they're starting to see a little bit of a problem with the homeless, and I think it's just going to get worse in the coming years. All right, everyone, that's today's list. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.
Nice.
Do you know what I was wondering there about the USA with the different cities that have popped up, like, you know, like I know they've not popped up, they've been there years, but sort of like trending cities, sort of like might sort of like attract certain people. Is if you work from home has become massive now on a global scale, right? You know, especially over here. I mean, people don't want to fucking go to work anymore over here. They want to work from home. You know, so it's made. We've seen people now. We've seen a big influx of people moving from the south, selling their houses in the south of England for a lot of money and moving further north and getting a lot more value for the money what they've done. You know, and buying in nice areas as well up here for a lot less than what they could afford. It's the smallest of places in, say, London. Because I wonder if that happened in the USA, where people are moving from, say, I don't know, maybe the tech cities, I don't know, your massive tech cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco and places like in California, into somewhere like a Boise, Idaho, or a Huntsville, Alabama.
Getting a lot more bang for the buck, aren't they? Money, nice place to live still, but they're getting bigger houses and more dispensable cash.
A lot more low sort of like key as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, good point.
You think like the way I heard it described by Americans during the pandemic was, what's the point in paying inner city prices, crazy like New York and LA and places like that, when everything's shut down? You've not got the services, you've not got the restaurants, the nightlife, you've not got any of the stuff that draws you there. And if you can work from home, like you say, could be anywhere. Go somewhere cheaper with a garden. You know,
I wonder if that's happened and people have moved around the
I think it has.
sort of like on a large scale. Let us know in the comments if it has happened.
I heard stories of people going to like Barbados in the UK and they're working from home in Barbados because it was cheaper than running a home over here.
I know someone who's done exactly that and gone to Barbados, and it's like super expensive. It's extortionately expensive.
Really?
Yeah. And he's kind of like, he's sending pictures back saying, look at this, £19 for a pint.
I couldn't live with that.
Yeah, it's proper like crazy money.
I could win the lottery and still couldn't live with that. Pay 19 quid for
Too
a pint.
It's too much.
Tight ass,
Forget about all the other added benefits you get on the beach and a climate as well. So £9 for a beer. No.
It'd be like people wind up straight up.
I'd stop drinking and just enjoy the atmosphere.
No, straight onto the supermarket, get some tinnies.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Carling. Hope me Carling on the beach.
Take your own little chair onto the beach, fold it out.
Newspaper.
Picnic.
It was interesting, that wasn't it?
It was,
Places as well that popped up we've not heard of before.
Yeah, I like that, news places. Definitely, Good.
Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.